We're live. Let's have a look. Totally random live, totally unannounced. So we'll see how long it takes for you guys to start finding your way in. Good afternoon. What I'll be doing is, when this live is finished today, I'll be putting it straight over to members only, I think. Who's going to be first in the chat? Good afternoon. Good afternoon all. 1:10 p.m. at home. Afternoon, Lido. How you doing? Nice to see you. Jack, how you doing, mate? Flip mode. Melanie, start. Let's have a look. That's better. You see you all starting to come in now. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Love to you all. Patricia, yes, we are going to be talking about Lubna. Good afternoon, Crispy. Hi, Debbie. Jackie. Lovely to see you all. Thank you very much. Over 300 people watching in just a few seconds. Amazing. English Rose, Susan, John, Jockey, Stacey, Vamp Diva. Good afternoon. We are live from sunny Spain. Afternoon, Stephen. No blue sky. Do you know what? Today is a bit overcast, to be fair, but actually it is. If you look there, that's a lot bluer in real life than it looks on the picture. I am feeling amazing. I'm very good, thank you. But there's something I wanted to talk about this afternoon. Ian sending support from Scotland. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got sun our end. I know it's a lovely day back home, I believe. OAP 66. Paul, I've just been watching The Brave Lady. I feel so sorry for her. So do I. Scott says, don't come back. It's rubbish in the UK. Matt's in the UAE. Lovely. Pippa, hello from Derby. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. 650 people watching. The only way you will win is if you let them win. Absolutely. Liam's watching from Edinburgh. So a few bits I wanted to speak to you about this afternoon. And before we go any further, let me just warn everyone watching, if you see any comments in the chat saying, WhatsApp me, like pretending to be me, WhatsApp me, contact me via Telegram, it is a scam. Please, please, please do not respond. I never, ever reach out in the comments and tell people to contact me via WhatsApp or via Instagram or via Telegram or anything like that. If you see that, it's a clone account and it's a scam. And many of you will have seen the video I released earlier in the week. Explained a lot of why so many people were getting on my back, and I totally get it, totally understand it. But I think it's now clear to everyone what has been going on. Nice shirt, Paul. Where did you get it? Do you know what? I bought it down the road in a marketplace. It's been so hot, I needed something nice and light. Yeah, what have we become? So I wanted to speak about that. What have we become? What a great question. Now, there's been a few people, myself included, that have decided to just pull the reins in a little bit, pull back a little bit for our own safety, for our own sanity, and for our own families. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of waffling here today. So hopefully, you know, you can sit back and either enjoy it or tell me I'm wrong or whatever. But there's been a number of people that have been the victim of a concerted campaign of hatred, lies, and a lot of other nonsense. Some of it has come from the far left. Some of it has come from the far right. And this is the weird bit. They kind of meet in the middle somewhere, because they've all got a thing about people that are actually moderate, right? Which is what I believe most of us are. We're just decent people. Thank you very much, Scorpion Singh. This Sikh is with you and with Great Britain. Marvellous. Thank you, Mick. Ian, don't give up. We will win. Ian, I believe we will win. But to win a war, you don't have to win every battle. Now, what's happened today with the announcement from Lubna? If you haven't seen her video, please make sure you go and watch it. Absolutely disgraceful. What's happened to her is absolutely vile. It's disgraceful. It's shameful. And it's more than anything, it's very, very sad. Jason, touch wood. Not yet, mate. Not yet. If I do, I hope I get it on camera. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure she won't mind me telling you this, but a couple of days back, I had a conversation with Lubna. I knew some of this stuff was going on. I wasn't aware of the full extent, but I knew she wasn't having a great time. But this is what people need to understand about Lubna and people like Lubna. I mean, I'm not going to include myself in this necessarily, but people like Lubna, people like Richard, for an example. Lubna's now got a problem. She's committed herself utterly and wholly to the cause. She's a very, very, very brave lady indeed. And a lot of us have come to respect her for her bravery, which, whether anyone watching this now likes it or not, to put your face in front of a camera, in front of the world, stand up for what you believe to be true and know full well, you know damn well that it's probably going to ruin your life. That's brave or stupid or both, or whichever you want to call it. And I've had people this week saying, oh, you've bowled out, you've lost your bowl. Well, yeah, if that's what you want to call it, you call it whatever you like. Because as much as I love my country, I love my grandchildren more. And I wasn't going to allow their lives to be ruined because some of my viewers, the vast minority, a small minority, a wicked minority of my viewers would enjoy seeing me set myself alight and burn in front of their very eyes for their entertainment. And Lubna has now got to that point. No doubt she will have people tell her that she's lost her courage. Yeah, well, you do her job. And here's the problem that she's got, bless her, and where I'm really, really worried about her. She has become a target from people within, I believe, and so she says, people from her own community. People from within her own community. A very intolerant and dangerous minority in her own community. She has reported it to the police. That was my advice. I'm glad she has, and she certainly should do. But what will be done about it? This is what I want to know. What will be done about it, and how will she be protected? And as much as I don't want to talk about this stuff anymore, it's our job. It's people like myself. It's our job to make this public, spread it far and wide, so that, God forbid, if anything happens to her, everyone knows that she was in danger, that the police have been informed, that it's down to the authorities to make sure she's taken care of and properly looked after. The girl relies on YouTube now for her living. And the naysayers will say she's grifting. Okay, well, you go and put your neck on the line for the small grift that Lubna's YouTube channel will bring in for her. And here's the thing. What's she going to do now for a job? What's she going to do? Who's going to employ her? She's made herself unemployable. And even if she did get a job, if someone did give her a job, the people that are targeting her right now would make sure that her position became untenable within any company, because they would then target that company. So her bravery is second to none. Her bravery is second to none. And we must protect her. Yes, Terry, I'm still in Spain, mate. Max Lubna was a national treasure in a traitor Labour government. Exactly. She is a national treasure. She's one of us. She's never asked for anything. She's never... I see her as just someone that's been extremely grateful for what this country has offered her and her children. Ian, would you come and open our new club, Paul, in Scotland? You know what, Ian? If I was able to, mate, that would be an absolute bloody honour. The poor girl is now in a situation where she's unemployable. So she has to carry on with her social media career. But we must protect her. We must make sure that she gets the right care, gets the right support, gets the right backup. And we must show all those horrible, horrible people that want to attack anyone and everyone just for having a message of unity and peace, that we're not going to stand by and watch her being bullied. Now, it's all right for us men, you know, I mean, we take it on the chin in ways in which we take it. But looking at poor Lubna this afternoon, she's in a right mess. Now, who is going to take care of her? And this is a situation we've got now where people like Lubna are left to be in the state that she's in, feeling under threat, will probably get very little, if any, support from the authorities. Shoaib is another one, another dear friend, another lovely, lovely guy, another Muslim individual that has been amazing, amazingly brave, a lovely, lovely man, salt of the earth type. And instead of being supported and encouraged by the authorities for being brave enough to highlight issues within their own communities, being integrated enough to just be a part of a great family, instead of getting the protection and the recognition they deserve, they're too busy sending the anti-terrorist squad to come and speak to people like Danny. Angela, I have checked in on her this morning. I've been in contact with her. Let me get a link to her video, because if anyone hasn't seen it, I'll put a link to her video in the chat. Just bear with me a second. Right, links in the chat, everyone, if you want to see that later. Yep, Helen of Crystals. I'm not surprised, look, that he's having problems. She's honest and doesn't stick to the narrative. Hi, Paul. Got a new motor? I haven't, mate. No. I've been looking around. But you know what? I found that it's actually cheaper to hire a car. I hired a car last night for 16 days. I hired an estate car for 16 days for 135 quid. No, 125 quid. How cheap is that? Richie Blackmore. Paul, Lubna has been hiding for her life, threatened by a radical. She's in pieces right now, so she needs help. I've told her she can come here so she can get sorted. That'll be, that's amazing. We got to make sure she's looked after. How does Tommy carry on? Exactly. Well, there is only one person that's been able to handle all of what has come his way over the last few years. Melissa, I wouldn't do it at all. Too many scary people out there. Absolutely, Melissa. Family first, Helen. Absolutely. Patricia, great point, Patricia. She's a single mum with children. She's doing it for them. This makes me so cross. Matthew, I'm sure 99% of your supporters highly respect you and others for what you do for us all. Thank you very much. It's a very difficult time at the moment, very difficult time for a lot of people. Arthur says your country does not love you. Exactly. Sarah says, sorry, I'm leaving the trench. Too much lead flying around. I love my family more than this country. Moira Swords, Lubna is a very educated woman. She is. I think it's abhorrent that Lubna is being bullied and a bloody disgrace. I don't blame you, Paul and Lubna. You should look after yourselves. Starmer will do nothing. The channel is Candid with Lubna. But ironically, I go back to what I was saying earlier on about the irony of the far left and the far right joining in the middle to attack targets that they don't agree with. The far left obviously dislike us because we're to the right of bloody Stalin, and the genuine far right, those that believe that anyone that's got a bit of a tan should be deported or shouldn't be here at all, they all think we're traitors. So you cop it from both lots of people. And that's what's happening to Lubna. But she's mostly getting it from extremists in her own community. Hi, John. Yeah, I've put a link to Lubna's video in the chat. Annie, can you explain more on that one? Everyone is changing to make money on YouTube. What's their problem? Annie, explain what you mean on that one, please, darling, because I'm not quite sure what you mean. Life in Benidorm, Spain is better than the UK. I can say, I hate to say, but it certainly is. Helen, we need a lot more like Lubna, brave and strong, absolutely. Kevin Baxter, hi Paul. Unfortunately, only now 2 people have put their heads above the parapet. Only so far people can go. And the establishment knows this. Thanks, Paul and Danny. Sarah says, Operation Fear is working. I've given up standing up in my city centre for the time being. I tell you what, Sarah, it's not just fear. It's also, there's other intimidatory things that can go on, you know, when they start messing around with your bank accounts and yeah, people are saying that Starmer's in trouble and that his backbenchers are trying to get him to do a U-turn on the heating allowance, not because they care about our senior citizens freezing to death in the winter, but because the buggers are worried about losing their seats and their income. It's got nothing to do with caring about the heating allowance. They're trying to dig themselves out of the mud. That after their obliteration in the local elections. I mean, Starmer could be forced out potentially, but you're going to be replacing Tweedledum with Tweedledee, aren't you? What are we going to get? Angela Rayner? God forbid, will they parachute Sadiq Khan into a safe Labour seat so he can become an MP and promote him? I mean, you don't know what this lot are capable of. I think Starmer's doing a good job of reminding the British public that we must never, ever, 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 ever fall for this again. And if you haven't listened to me before, please listen to me now. Vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. Vote. Get your families to vote. And make sure you get their families to vote, because that is the only way that we win this battle. There is no other way. She's removed off her vlog. She now has 0 income and kids to look after. Demon Souls, they literally doxed her and turned up to her home last night. This is sad. Imagine going after a single mother and her kids. Lubna is a very brave lady. She is indeed. My so-called life. I watched her live stream this morning and my heart breaks for her. Absolutely. So I'm just going through your chats here, guys. Will you get Katie Hopkins on my... I'd love to have Katie on, but to be honest with you, she's so busy doing her own thing. She's an amazing woman, Katie, amazing. Thanks, Angela. Are you limited to 3 months visa? At the moment, that would be correct. I can do. I would imagine Mayor already knows. Afternoon, mate. How you doing? Steve, if you fancy a coffee, Paul, give me a shout. I'm just down the road in Altea. Nice one, mate. It's amazing the amount of people that are in Benidorm that watch the channel and know you. Absolutely crazy. And everyone feels the same. Kevin, Paul, last week, did you reply to that geese who absolutely rinsed your name? In a way, Kev, but I don't really get involved. These people can say what they like. And you can't stop them, mate. You can't, look, there's nothing to stop people from making up stuff as they go along. But ultimately, it's about standing the test of time, isn't it? Divided Kingdom says they have proven everything Lubna said. You see, what should happen now? Cheers, Dave. Thanks, mate. What should happen now is that members of her community should rally around her and make sure she's safe. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's down to us to try and make sure she's safe and supported. Abaden, can you remind us what's happening? I've just come online. Well, basically, Candid with Lubna, who is, a fairly now experienced YouTuber, has been speaking out against certain things that certain people have taken offence against, and they're now targeting her at her home. Thank you very much, T-Man. Appreciate that. Andrew, thank you for your support for Lubna and speaking about her bravery as she tried to open conversation. Absolutely, she did. We need another 100 Lubnas. And this is the first live I've done for some time. And I had to say this because you can't just sit back and go, oh, well, let her get on with it. Because sadly, so many people will go, let her get on with it, because those that will accuse her of being a coward or a grifter or whatever else they want to call her, it's not them that's suffering, is it? Craig says, well, if I had the money and a passport, I'll be getting my arse out of the UK. Has YouTube closed her channel? I mean, look, it was up. Let me just check. No, her channel is up, but all of her videos have currently, let's have a little look. Okay, so live streams are still up. One way we could encourage her is to get her up to 100,000 subscribers. She's got 78,000 subscribers. I know she wanted to get that YouTube plaque. We can help her. Oh, bless you, Andrea. Thank you so much, honey. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that is true. Lubna just wanted her kids to be safe at school. They were actually sending her bad private messages during her live. Disgusting. Melanie, she's a single mum and gave up a high-paying job for YouTube. She did indeed. And without going back onto an old topic, this is why when people like Lubna and myself are accused of being in it all for the money, people don't understand what you have to give up before you start talking about politics, but never mind what you have to give up before. It's what you forsake and what comes after, because once you're done, you're done. There's no coming back. Imagine me applying for a job, and supposing I went for a job this afternoon, give you an example. Let's supposing I opened up another business. That's probably a better example. Let's supposing I opened up a shop somewhere in Brighton. How long would it take for our enemies to latch onto that, to get on Google reviews, etc., and make sure that your business was untenable? I'd give it about 3 days. About 3 days before they destroyed your reputation, before you'd even managed to get your first feet through the front door. See you later, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. Wallace, to coin a well-used phrase, the left and the right are wings of the same bird, abhorrent and uncompromising. Pauline says, no, Paul, I don't agree. Which part, Paul? Pauline? Be interested to know which part. Let me know. Matthew, is there many political problems in Spain, Paul? Do you know what, Matthew? Honestly, I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't really care, because it's not my concern. I shouldn't have any say or any right to have any say about what the great people of this country do, and who they vote for. Not doing too bad. I've only had to ban 2 people so far. Thank you, The Life of Joe. Psychopaths don't care. It's impossible for them. Carol, Katie Hopkins has taken so much. Utmost respect to that woman. Absolutely. The whole of Labour needs to go. Well said. But like I keep saying, the only way that's going to happen is by voting. Sadako says, my family are sadly very left-wing. They'd sooner vote Green than UKIP. The thing is with the Green Party is they're not the Green Party of old, are they? You know, the Green Party used to be all about well, being green. But these days they've been heavily infiltrated, I believe, just like Labour. Joe and Jay, thank you very much. Much love, thank you. Who Dockster? Well, the police are involved now, so that's a good thing. Lubna has a great channel. She does indeed. Julie Bordillion says, Paul, in the future, can we chat about what's going on in the skies, the so-called dimming of the sun? I believe they are poisonous, called geoengineering. That's interesting, that, Julie, because down in Brighton recently, in recent weeks, there's been a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, where I've woken up and it's like fog almost. And it stayed like that on a couple of occasions all day, which is really weird. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, you probably might want to skip back, Jennifer, and maybe catch up from the beginning. Yeah, definitely, Lynn. AJ, I think that would be a good idea, but because of things that have gone on recently, I'll be the last person to be doing any fundraising at the moment. But I would encourage Lubna to potentially do that herself. Logman UK, good God, 10 police cars have just whizzed past my house with blues and twos on. Someone must have posted a tweet. Do you know what? That would be funny if it wasn't true. But it all goes wild when they see Tommy walking down the street. Hopefully that won't be too long. Richie, I am in contact with Lubna, and I've told her that if she needs anything or any support, that I'm only a phone call away. Unfortunately, obviously, I'm in Spain at the moment, but we would do whatever we could do. Thanks for that, Stephen. I'll have a look. Appreciate that, mate. Oh, I thought I'd turn the supers off, but thank you very much, Renee. Appreciate that. And Pauline, thank you very much. Take the wife for a drink on me. Bless your heart. Thank you, Pauline. You guys really don't need to do that, but thank you so much anyway. Marie says, Paul, this has ruined my day. I've got to be honest, there was a time last week. Let me pop the link in the chat again for everyone. link to Lubna's video is in the chat again. Working class patriot. It's easy for people to be Rambo when it ain't them being targeted. Exactly. Let me tell you something. When you get involved in this stuff and you walk down the road, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head all the time. So it's I liken it to, you know, when you hear someone slagging off a boxer, oh, he's no good, he's useless, he's got a glass jaw, he ain't got the courage. Yeah, well, let's see you do that walk to the ring. The police are busy arresting people for social media posts. There was a time last week when, or the week before, was it? I can't, I've lost track of time now. When my lovely wife, bless her, said to me, Paul, why don't you just jack it all in? You've done your bit. At least you've stood up. Why don't you just walk away from social media altogether? And I'll be honest with you, that could have been, at one stage, that could have been quite tempting. But when I look at all you lovely people in the comments there, particularly, and I'm going to be honest with you, a big percentage of my audience are women over 50, let's say, that feel that they need a bit of support, feel they need, I don't know what it is with the girls out there, but I can't leave you guys behind. It just wouldn't feel right. I think we've built something and I want to keep that. Yeah, looks like a lot of her videos have gone. Yeah, a question that a lot of people have been asking me is, am I going to stay out here? Am I coming back or am I going to stay here? I just don't know. I mean, I've been looking at property potentially to rent out here, looking potentially for property to buy potentially. I've sold one of my properties in the UK. But all the advice that people give me that have lived here and that do live here is to potentially rent for 6 months before you make the big move. Jack, that would be funny, wouldn't it? And he should do it, yeah. Rolf says life today is so depressing, but Rolf, things will get better. We've only got another, 4 years, 3 months to go. But if I did move, it would only be for the period that Labour are in power. Ulan says being in it for the money is a nonsense argument. We would have to discount all professional journalism if the profit motive made content automatically dishonest. I think the whole talk about money is ridiculous anyway. I mean, when you go into Sainsbury's, do you say to the checkout girl, oh, you're a grifter? Because, you know, you're sitting behind a desk taking people's money. They're working. And YouTube is a living for a lot of people. And I'm unashamed about that. I mean, the vast majority of my income comes in through Google ads. So if I can get Google to pay me whilst talking to you guys, good luck to me. Good luck to anyone else. You know, if we can get Google to give us a few quid, why not? It's all bullshit. Cheers, Auntie Patriot. London City events, keyboard warriors will destroy everything. Well, I tell you what, mate, they've had a bloody good go at it over the last few weeks, but the good news is they haven't won. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Lucy Powell, Paul. I don't want to get myself into any bother. My thoughts on Lucy Powell will remain private. There's a good point. Wheelbarrow, let's face it, it's the middle classes keeping this insanity going from their comfort bubbles. Sirkin, you should have thought about that, mate. Sorry, I'm not quite sure which bit you mean now. I'm going through the chat and it's quite slow. Chill, Winston, thank you, buddy. Alison said this country is finished, Paul. Alison, do you know what? We'll come back. We will come back. I promise you that. We will come back. Yep, Jazzy, social media is a toxic mess that creates despots. Arthur Mo, get a job as a lollipop man. You don't have to start until you're 66. John says, I reckon Lubna will be back. I reckon she's shocked at the minute. She will be. She's got every right to be. Pauline, right, about leaving our country. No, thanks, Pauline. No, I get you now. Look, Pauline, at the end of the day, I truly believe that everyone, and I mean everyone, should do what is right for their family. I think we all have a duty to do what's right for our country, but there are limits. And the reason that there are limits is because this is not a war. This is not like the First World War or the Second World War, where you know who the enemy is, your government is on your side, you've got backing of all your friends, your families, your neighbours, the authorities, the police. We haven't got that. We haven't got that. So I believe that everyone has the right to make a choice what is right for them and for their families. But I wouldn't argue the point, Pauline. If you believe that, then that's your right to believe that. And I do understand it. I would prefer right now to be at home doing what I was doing, continuing to speak my mind, continuing to strive for peace and unity, continuing to strive for more togetherness from our own people. But I can't do that if you're going to come under the threat of the authorities, who, for whatever reason, think we're all baddies. Work it out for yourselves. Yeah, Richie, exactly. Rolf, obviously a Millwall fan. I'm only kidding, Rolf. Yeah, well, the reason is, Matthew, is because they and their kin run the bloody place at the moment, but it won't last forever. Hi, David from China. Pauline, is that a real lemon tree? No, it's not, Pauline. It's plastic. Can we go back to the 1980s? Yeah, lovely. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Good point, Linda. Great point. And this is exactly why the moderate Muslims don't speak out about the radical idiots. What a great point, Linda. Cheers, David. Much better. Thank you very, very much for that. Cheers, David. Hi, Paul. Have you tried Gibraltar fish and chips? I haven't, mate. I haven't. And Lady Nick, thank you. Super sticker. Thank you very much, Lady Nick. Appreciate that. She broke my heart this morning. Get her book. It's lovely. Rolf, we all need a good laugh, don't we just, mate? Nice to be back doing the live. I mean, it's lovely to be back doing the live, interacting with you guys, and I will be doing more of it. Just needed to get me head, back in the right space. I need to come back home, really, for a few days, but do you know what? I'm not sure that I can be arsed with it. I mean, if they're going to do the same to me as they did to poor old Danny, I can do without the grief, and I can do without the mental or the mental torture. But I'm not worried about, how can I put it? I'm not worried about them accusing me of doing anything, because I know I haven't done anything. If they want to accuse me of something, it wouldn't bother me because I know that I haven't done it. But what does bother me is being bloody hassled for 5-6 hours, and I just can't be arsed with the drama, having your phones taken. Potentially, Yvonne, but I'll speak to Lubna. Jack, honestly, I mean, we've had very little contact with him. I don't know. I can tell you what my advice to him would be, but knowing Tommy, he'll do exactly what he wants to do and what he thinks is right. Melanie, all under one umbrella, voting has shown not to really do anything, but continue the agenda. Yeah, agreed to a large degree, Melanie, but I think this is why we need to keep the pressure up on reform. Katie is an English rose. She is indeed. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Pammy says reform need to keep their foot on the accelerator and do not get complacent. Yeah, I agree. And as I just said, that's why it's important that we keep the pressure up on them. Although they do have a point when he said the other day, I don't agree with a lot of what he says. But what I do agree with is elections aren't won on X. There is a much wider audience than that. But I still get very frustrated about the amount of people that will moan and don't bother to vote. Oh, it does my head in. Chris, thank you, mate. Good health. Cheers. Des, all the best. You can help Lubna by joining her channel. The cost of a cup of coffee means she can feed her children. I'm sure she would appreciate it. Des, that's a good shout. You can always join Lubna's channel and help her out. Katie, thank you. Lovely to see you doing the live, Paul. Honestly, guys, don't worry about sending supers. Please don't worry about that. We're just here to have a chat. And going back to what I was talking earlier on, Rob Quince, they are called chemtrails, yeah. Cloud seeding, is that the same thing? Hi, Tony. Tony, how you doing, mate? Just got home from my new job. Tony, that's good. So you're back in work. Fantastic, my friend. Eddie Hills, not a dig, but only very few have the guts to take on the establishment openly. That's true. Until we are willing to lose it all, potentially we will lose. And I guess, Tony, it depends how much or what you've got to lose, doesn't it? Some people have more to lose than others. And I think when you've got family, when you're very close to your family or you've got dependents, you're in a position of weakness to much degree. I remember a story from the Second World War once that has haunted me. As a father of two daughters, I remember a story once that I heard about from the Second World War and how evil, true evil, can manipulate the hearts, the minds of a nation or of a people. And the story was that, I'm trying to remember the exact story. I remember the horrible part, but I can't quite remember the backstory. But it went something like, the Nazis wanted to find out who had been an informant in a town in France. And they believed that this guy knew who these informants were. And they went to his home, and he had two daughters. And they pulled them all out of the house, gave him a gun, and said, you choose which one, or we'll do them both. Imagine that. Just think about that for a minute. How mental is that? I don't want to use the words because YouTube will pick it up, but you know what I mean. You choose which one you can take out, or we'll take out both of them. That story haunted me, and it still haunts me now. So it depends what you've got to lose, doesn't it? That person put his head above the parapet back during the Second World War in the French resistance. And that was his punishment. So that was harder for him than it would have been for the guy next door who didn't have any daughters or any kids. He's only putting himself at risk. Does that make sense? Thank you, Vanessa. Where's your Dalek helmet, Paul? I thought you were turning over a new leaf and all that. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, I am going to continue to talk about the things that I care about. I'll continue to highlight things that I think are wrong. But I just want to move it within the lines of where the authorities are going to leave me alone. Because frankly, as Jack says, there's political motivations in it, and they will do whatever they want. They will do whatever they want. Precious Quinty De Vere, thank you so much. What a lovely comment. By the way, I'm not a woman over 50. Brilliant. Exactly, Tony. Exactly, mate. We all want hope, don't we? We all need hope. Thank you, Fabio. Maureen says, don't come home for your own safety. Well, that's the way I kind of feel at the moment. I said in the video that I dropped this morning, if I stay here, I don't consider myself an expat. I consider myself exiled. There you go, Caroline. Yeah, she's taken the videos down. Spot on. It's down to us to look after her. Thank you, Valerie. Yeah, easy to pick on single parent, real men, exactly. Cheers, Angelina. Bumped into a lot of Scots here that watch my channel. There's a good comment from Carol. Glenn, look at that. That's interesting. Hi, Glenn. Paul, my lad, has just moved to Canada. He tells me the Canadians are being turned away at borders and English tourists are being detained and questioned for hours. Unbelievable. Canada's in a right state, I think. Paul would make a great Santa. I need to put a bit more weight on, though, a few more Burger Kings. Flight time. Paul, as you are no longer doing political videos, will allow you to visit Tommy. I understand if you don't want to answer. No, I'll answer that, mate. I mean, look, my videos will be political to some degree. I'm just stepping away from the... Well, we all know the stuff that gets you into trouble with the... not into trouble, but the stuff that puts you under the spotlight. And I said this months ago, to be fair. I don't need to keep highlighting the issues that we have at home. Everybody bloody knows it. And I think that really it's just as important that we have a community that we can all be in and just be there for each other. We don't have to keep talking about the same stuff all the time. Absolutely, and I will never apologise for doing that. Street switch, Paul. Do you think the UK's lost? Okay, that's a great question, and I'm going to answer it as candidly as I possibly can. We're 3-0 down and it's half time. But our star striker will soon be back to full fitness, and we have some good subs on the bench. But the inability of our manager and the bad tactics that he's employed has put us in danger of losing the game. You know, I like a football analogy. I'd love to live in Greece. They have our sense of humour. Is that right? Do you know what? Funny you should say that. I've got some good friends that are Greek Cypriots. And they do, you're right, they do have our sense of humour. I never thought about that because they've lived there for most of their life, so they probably would do anyway, but Baron, don't ever change to fit others' narratives, Paul. Also, please slow down on that damn scooter. I feel it would be safer walking around. Yeah, it would be, yeah, to be fair. Mark Thatcher, not the Mark Thatcher, obviously. Labour's here to stay, Paul. They're moving in all the illegals. Labour will give them the vote before the next election. It's disgusting. Well, Mark, you know, if you're right, and I wouldn't actually dispute what you're going to say, I think that's a very good chance that that could happen. But what do I keep saying? Everyone's got to vote. And this is where the people that have been sleepwalking into this, the people that go, oh, it don't affect me, blah, 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 blah. Let's hope they don't learn too late. But I'll go back to the question about, is the UK done for? We're 3-0 down and it's half time. Did I have a nice birthday? I did. Do you know what? I went out with Danny and his family and my family, and we had a lovely time. We found a lovely Indian restaurant. The only thing I didn't like about it, didn't do the spicy pompadums. I love a spicy pot. I don't like all that foreign stuff. I have to have a good Indian, you know. I mean, a real traditional British dinner, a curry. Love it. And we had a nice time. We really did have a nice time. We are true patriots. Mate, how you doing? Lovely to hear you from up there in Bonnie, Scotland. Did you hear my latest song, 8 years? Mate, I haven't done. I've been so busy and just trying to stay away from social media a little bit. But I'll try and have a listen. KG, thank you. Lovely to see you in the live, Paul. David Crosby, belated happy birthday, Paul, when I'm 64. I was humming that bloody song all day in my head. No matter what I did, I could not get that bloody song out of the way. Cheers, Tony. All the best, Paul. Stay strong. Glad you're taking some time out to rest and enjoying in Spain. I'm loving it, mate, to be honest. Alizar, Lubna is an ex-Muslim like me from London. She was a voice of hope and reason, and it's sad to see her quit. There are many more of us. Please know that. Mate, we do. We really do know that. And of all if I tell you now, and I say this from my heart, right, and I'm not, how can I put it? It's people like myself, people like us. It's many people that have been targeted I believe that in many ways we offer the country the best hope because we don't hate anyone. We just want to live together. We all want to live happily, peacefully together, where all our kids are safe when they go to school, play games together, live happily. And Britain can be Britain. That's all we wanted. Fiona, thanks, Fiona. No, Danny, the treatment of Danny was absolutely appalling. He's gone from being in a state of shock to being in a state of anger, I think. He's now really angry now about the whole thing. Paul, don't you have to come back anyway to sort visas? Do you know what, Fee? I'm not 100% sure myself, but I've got friends in that line, so Stephen, do you think we can save the UK, Paul? Can it be turned around? Stephen, I refer the honourable gentleman to my previous answer. Half time, 3-0 down. But we've got some good subs on the bench. And the opposition tend to run out of puff when the going gets tough. Richie, yeah. That's probably a good idea, that, Richie. So it bloody should do. Cheers, Tony. All the best, brother. Nice to see you doing better, mate. So I put on the slow mode on the chat today. Probably a good idea that I did because it's still been absolutely crazy. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. The time out here is, where are we? 3:20. I've got a little bit of catching up to do. Can you see that? Look at that mountain over there, look. It's amazing, isn't it? It's beautiful. That is the strip, runs all the way along there, as far as I can see virtually. The sea is nice and calm today. And I'm going to go for a little walk. So lovely to see you all back in the chat. Thank you so much for your support, and I really mean that. Without the support from you guys that's come through me over the last week or so, I probably just would have walked away. But it honestly is you guys that have kept me here. So thank you so much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Whole screen arse, how you doing, mate? Thank you very much, brother. Lovely to see you. Graham, you got it right. Paul, are you still doing politics, but just not getting involved with the backstabbing centre-right groups? Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty fair analysis. But a lot of people have been very supportive, put it that way. Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you all. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a thumbs up before you go. Really helps, as always. And I'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the week. Catch you later.